Hello and welcome back again to another Let's Play LOTRO with me, Balthelion, and once again the commentary is being provided in post-production. We are just northwest of Weathertop at the moment, so we're just at the Weather Hills there at Candaith's camp, who is the chap we're about to speak to. But yeah, just a reminder, so since I forgot to attach the microphone on the first recording session I did for the Volume Epic, I'm having to put all this together in post so that my commentary might be slightly behind. But anyway, so the time has come at last to stand with Aragorn, son of Arathorn, my lord and the chieftain of the Dunedain. In my heart I knew this day would come, for as the shadows have lengthened, the need for Aragorn to accept his mantle has become all the more pressing. I have come to love the lands between the Forsaken Inn and the Last Bridge, and it will grieve me to leave them, but I will do so. I will join the Grey Company and travel south as you have asked. While I make ready to leave, will you retrieve a hidden cache of supplies I prepared some time ago? I left a sword, some gloves, and a few other supplies northeast of here, atop a small rise called Echad-Sul, in the shade of a tree. Recover this cache and bring it back to me, for I will have need of it in the lands to the south. So once we're finished with him, we will continue onwards. It's just a short ride up the hill. So I'm going to mount up, and it's literally on my map there because I've already found the location. Echad-Sul, it's literally due north of Weathertop. So what we're going to do is we're going to go east from Candaith's camp, just past this giant rock that's up here, and we can climb up this cliff. And we basically literally need to go to the very top of this hill. It's not too high up. And you'll see like a big rock and some trees in the background, and that big rock is our destination. So I see some rhubarb here and it looks quite tempting, so not that I really need it anyway, but any kind of node, even if it's plants, is always picked up. I just wish they could change the plant nodes so you could pick them up while you're mounted rather than having to be dismounted, since you can now mine and collect wood. An unsavoury gentleman stands where you fought to find the hidden cache. Osktaluk.
Looks like you might be easy picking.
What are you looking at? It seems to me these lands should be big enough for you to find a path that takes you out of my sight, little Hobbit.
Osktaluk follows your gaze and smirks.
You like this sword? Found it, I did. And these gloves, and a few other choice items. Sometimes you'll find these little caches in the wild, left by rangers, I suspect. Easy pickings, if you ask me. Looks like you might be easy pickings too. I'll be having your gear and your coins, friend, without a fight or with one. It's all the same to me.
I don't know why he's calling me friend if he's about to mug me, though. So we're going to have to defeat Osktaluk. So whenever I continue this quest,
Die!
So we're going to spank him, just go with our usual buttons. He's not really going to do much damage to me since, you know, I'm fairly tanky as a guardian. I think my bigger concern is if I was to run out of power in a fight. There we go. Osktaluk falls, his robbery a failure. And you retrieve Candaith's goods. So we can just mount up now. And drive back down to Candaith. I should probably mention as well, the steed that I'm riding now is the steed of the Alliance from the Mordor pre-order, which is a pretty funky one, so that's why Holobrand is currently using that. It's a new steed that none of my other characters are using at the minute. Bit of a slidey slope there into breaking my horse's legs, but oh well. So there's another chap that's riding up. I think he's actually on level doing some of the stuff around here. So
I'm pleased to have these items back. Thank you.
I would have been willing to part with the contents of the cache, Holobrand. Items hidden in the wild once found should go to their finders. But once Osktaluk sought to use my items to rob you, as far as I'm concerned, he gave up his right to them. I am pleased to have them back. Thank you. So as with all the chapters, we can either take a map to the next ranger or take another item. So this one's an item XP rune. It's only 30,000, but I might as well take that anyway.
We will have need of Saeradan's calming wisdom on the road south.
So, you should next bring your message to Saeradan in Bree-land. He is more settled than some others of my kin, but no less a vital part of the Grey Company. We will have need of Saeradan's calming wisdom on the road south, for though we have need of them, so too do we need to keep our wits about us. Too often can the hasty road lead to carelessness. Saeradan will help prevent this. Look for him at his cabin near the near the town of Bree, in Bree-land. He lives east of Thornbury's work site in northern Bree Fields. Candaith gives you a wistful smile. It is true. We don't know what we will find as we ride south. I look out over these lone lands and wonder what will happen to them when we have gone. But this is something we must do. Each of us has sworn an oath to Aragorn, our chief, and none of us will break that oath. We know the risks. None of us would join the Great Company if we felt its errand was not important enough to brave those risks. For my part, I will not give in to fear of the unknown. We all have our role to play, and I only hope that when I have played mine, the world will have been a better place for my having been in it. So this one's going to give us either a legacy of might or a legacy of agility, and a map to the next ranger. So I'm just going to cheat and mythical coin straight over to him, just to save a little bit of the time. So this puts us due north of Bree along the road that goes up to the North Downs, and we're just east of Thornley's worksite by the lake, and that also puts us west of the festival grounds as well. So if I spin the camera around here, that's Thornley's worksite over there. They've been constructing that for 10 years. Worst builders ever.
Aragorn has need of us, and that is all we need know.
I see, Holobrand. I will travel south with as many of the Dunedain as can be gathered in haste. Aragorn has need of us, and that is all we need know. Saeradan looks wistfully around the yard. I fear for the people of this land, Holobrand. Without the Dunedain to protect them, great numbers of an unruly sort have already come to Bree, and the brigands of the countryside will have no want for members while the rangers are not around to keep their ranks in check. I will make ready to depart. While I do so, will you speak with Balthelion at the Prancing Pony? He does not think much of rangers, but I would have you ask him to take a special care of his inn and the town for the next several months, if it comes to that. He will not understand, but I want him to have at least some warning that troubles may be in store for Bree. So we now need to go to the Prancing Pony. And I'm going to pretty much slow horse this one just because I had plenty of stuff to talk about. But basically this is kind of like hinting at stuff which does happen later in the books. Some of it mentioned more like in the appendices and stuff. Silver Node, yum yum. But basically we've already seen like glimpses of some of it because some of the instances and skirmishes are kind of out of time and in the future anyway. So for example, the two skirmishes that occur in Bree, we've got Defence of the Prancing Pony and Thievery and Mischief, which are kind of like set in the winter after brigands have kind of overrun Bree and you're kind of chasing them out of town basically. And also in the Trouble in Tuckborough skirmish, you're kind of dealing with a little bit of kind of like the aftermath of the Scouring of the Shire, just like kicking some guys out of the Great Smiles where the Tooks lived at the time. But some of the other instances in this storyline also kind of out of sync. So, for example, the raids that take place at Erebor, there's 3 raids there, and they kind of all take place in the later days of the war. So just around about the same sort of time as the Black Gate. I think the first one's when they were evacuating Dow. It's kind of like just before the Battle of the Black Gate. And I think the middle one's about the same time as the Battle of the Black Gate. And then the final one where you're coming out of Erebor to attack and break the siege, basically. I think that's established as being several days, or is it weeks, after Sauron's been defeated. So we're going out to the Prancing Pony just on the northeast of town. And we're going to go inside and speak to Balthelion, who's obviously going to be behind the bar. In we go. So he's just in front of us. Sounds like someone's got a dog out.
Will you look at me, going on and on like this?
That fellow Saeradan does come to the pony from time to time, and we talk about the state of things in Bree. Not as often as I'd like, of course. For every moment of peace there are 10 things that need doing, and no way to make them all fit in the time available. Still, I do what I can, and wouldn't trade the pony for anything. Folks say Saeradan's a ranger, but if he is, he's more respectable than most. He has a cabin just near Bree, and even spares a smile for his neighbours, which is more than I've seen from some others of that kind. Will you look at me going on and on like this? There's no time for idle chatter. There are foodstuffs sitting in one of the parlours that need to be brought out here for preparing. Will you go and fetch some of them? Apples, pears, mushrooms, you'll see the crate, you will. And you'll be a big help to me if you hurry. So for some reason he's instantly recruited us to be some hands behind the bar. I didn't really want a job, but okay, we'll help you out here. So there's a rather unscrupulous sort just loitering about in the hallway there. So the crate is when I find it, just in front of me there. So we need to go take this back to the main bar. And this chap's going to say something nasty as we go past.
I would hate to see you drop that plate. Get out of my sight.
That's very charming, sir. These apples and pears will be made into a delicious cobbler. Now bring me the next goods. So he wants me to get another crate out the same pile. So once again, if we come down here, just grab a new crate. And run back again, and we're going to get another rude comment.
That plate of mushrooms smells terrible. Or maybe it's you.
One more trip should do
One more trip should do it, Holobrand. There should be a pumpkin in one of those crates in the parlour, so you just run that out here and we should be all set, and a job well done it will be. So once again, come back here. I don't know where this fellow's off to, or what he's looking for. But we're going to grab our last crate. Run back again.
You again?
What a help you've been. I simply have not had the time. Must be a busy day today in the pony.
Some rude types have come to Bree lately.
Some rude boys have arrived. Thank you. You have been a great help to me today, and I won't forget it. So much to do, so very much to do. But you're welcome to stay as long as you like. Join the company, sing a song, warm yourself by the fire. Bartleman pauses, and his eyes pass briefly over the crowd. There is one more thing, actually, Holobrand, he says in a harsh tone. There have been a few rude types to come to Bree lately, and they've been scaring off some of the townsfolk who like to come to the pony of a night. Regular visitors, you know. Good folk, who come for a spot of ale and some cheer. Do you think you might have a word with the fellow at that table there? Uchtred, I think his name is, and he's a coarse sort. Maybe you can encourage him to finish his mug of beer and find somewhere to go for the night. Only, he hasn't rented any lodgings here, and I'd just as soon he took his loud friends somewhere else. I would tell him myself, but there's so much to do. Yeah, big pussy. Right, we'll do this for you then. So we just have to go to this guy. He's just in the far corner over here.
There'll be changes around here. I don't mind telling you.
What do you say to me? I have as much a right to be here at this table as anyone here. More so once the rest of my friends get here. Oh, there'll be change around here, I don't mind telling you. Uchtred scowls at you. You still here? You've made me mad, and now you're going to have to pay for it. I will see you outside by the north gate of Bree, if you have any courage at all. We won't be bothered there. I'll teach you a lesson about respecting Uchtred and his boys. A lesson the whole town is going to have to learn. I'll see you outside the pony and we'll settle this.
So we're going to have to head outside then. Back pretty much the way that we came in, so we're going to mount up once we're outside. So we want to head outside the north gate of Bree, so we're going to take a little shortcut across the top of the hill here. Just past the little farm fields here, which is where the some of the fireworks stuff that goes on during the anniversary festival up on these fields here. And then just down over here, we have the north gate. And then once we go through the north gate, just down on the left-hand side, which is roughly about where that tower is to the left, which I'm just hovering there. It'll be over there, or we'll spawn in there once we get there anyway. This is funny back in the day, because the amount of people that were trying to kill this guy, and he was like slowly having to respawn as one person took him down at a time.
There'll be changes around here. I don't mind telling you.
I didn't think you'd show, Holobrand. We're going to own this town in a couple of weeks, and that fat innkeeper in there will have to beg for table scraps from Uchtred and his boys. Just like you'll need to beg for mercy in a few moments of it. I might even grant it. Then again, I might not.
So we're going to spank him, teach him a lesson. So again, just make use of a lot of these block and parry skills, since they're going to be quite good. And go for the finishing hit, which I didn't even need because he went out of combat. Uchtred begs for mercy. Saeradan was right. Trouble lies ahead for Bree.
One of us is weak, and one of us is not.
He says as he goes flying away. So, although it's only a short bit, I'll just Mithril coin back for ease.
I was right to worry then.
I was right to worry then. I feared it was so. Very few of these people know that the safety they feel is the result of the tireless work of the Dunedain. And yet, our road must take us south, into lands far away from the well-meaning proprietor of the Prancing Pony. He may not trust rangers, but my people are no less fond of him and his simple life than they are of their own sons and daughters. I hope his town and his inn will remain safe until we return. If we can return. So I can take either a legacy of might or agility, and since I'm a guardian I'll take the might one. Or we can have a map to the Shire, which is where the next ranger is going to be. So once I've done that, I'll click finish.
Holros loves the Shire and its people.